But you had a feeling, you mentioned this Southgate-ish, was he trying this slow pace? Was he trying to just, I don't know, a bit of a smash and grab and just dreary, and then let's get a goal and that will be enough for us?
I think so. I mean, let's use the comparison to how Brazil dealt with Serbia, right? Because we're talking about the top contenders for this World Cup. Serbia, you know, obviously a little bit more aggressive from a physical standpoint than the USMNT's game plan, especially in the first 45 minutes. But Brazil kept going, kept knocking at the door. Coach Chicha changed some things, and Brazil were trying to be faster. England, on the other side, were slow, reactive. If something wasn't going one way, they would bring it all the way back to Jordan Pickford. And it's kind of alarming that it takes Gareth Southgate to the 60th minute to be like, oh, hold on a second, Steve Holland. Something's not working. You think? Something's not working. Phil Foden should have started from the get-go in the second half because it just wasn't working. Mason Mount was poor. I'm a big fan, Frank Leboeuf, of Chelsea's Mason Mount, but he was poor today. And I thought he needed to really do a few things. Let me ask you, Frank, Christian Pulisic, I thought he was very good today. You know, a few minor things, but he was very good. What did you make of him?
I'm very happy for him. He had to prove that he had the standard that many people in the US want to give him, the Captain America, and what he has to prove that he plays for Chelsea, so he's one of the rare players, you know, to be able to in America to be able to play in a big team, and he proved that some people had the right to believe in him, and he did what he had to do today. I mean, his shots on the crossbar was absolutely fantastic because he had no space whatsoever to take the shot, and he still managed to do so and to do very well. His composure, you know, his passes, his dribbling, they were very spot on at the right time. He didn't do too much. He did what he had to do the moment he had to do the thing. It's what you are expecting from a leader, from the guys who organize everything in the team offensively. And he did his part defensively as well, talking to his teammates as well to make sure they are in the right position. He had nobody has a perfect game, but he had a very good game.
Talking about players that can make a difference, there has been a lot of talk, understandably, about Phil Foden after the final whistle has gone. He created as many chances against the USA as Raheem Sterling, Mason Mount and Harry Kane. Phil Foden did not play. Craig Burley's been a bit annoyed about it as well. He says, has Foden been seen in a Qatari nightclub or something? Greg Berhalter got a lot of heat about not putting Gio Reyna on. He did that in this game later on. Phil Foden, would you have liked to have seen him today, Frank?
Yes, and like every game, you know, and I go with Luis, you know, even if I really love Mason Mount, I think lately with Chelsea and with the national team, he hasn't been the best that he has to be before. I think, of course, it's the coach choice, you know, the player that you put on. But I think right now, I will go with Phil Foden, even on the left side. But I will go with Phil Foden. I mean, he proved during the season and the beginning of the season with Manchester City that he's been an absolutely fantastic player and created so many chances for Man City. And it's not the case for Mason Mount. Maybe he was going to come out better soon. But really, right now, Mason is not at his top. And I think Southgate should think about, for the next game, you know, giving a chance to Foden to play.
Mark Hodgson did do a small disappearing act during the broadcast.
He was so fed up, Kay. He was so
fed up. Did you find Phil Foden on your travels, Mark?
No, I'm still looking. I think he's as elusive as the Wi-Fi in Qatar. So we'll get there.
So what do you think the reaction's going to be in England to what we saw tonight then, Mark?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty negative, which is what we do. You know, this is England win. We're the best team in the world. England don't win, and you know everything has to change. I think let's find the middle ground. I think Phil Foden. Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't get more. You know, didn't get involved tonight. I think that Phil Foden has to start against Wales. It's a strange situation with England now because the group, as it stands, it's going to take something quite remarkable for England not to qualify. So I think England are pretty much there, but they probably need to win to make sure they top the group because we don't know yet who they might face in round two. It's probably going to be the Dutch, Ecuador or Senegal. Take your pick from those. But it's all about momentum. And I think if England carry on with this team, you know, Harry Kane isn't playing well. Raheem Sterling's not playing well. Saka played poorly tonight. You know, midfield was poor. I think Foden, he's had a great season. You have to bring Foden in. I'm not quite sure there are many others. I wouldn't start Marcus Rashford just yet, but I think Foden has to start because Foden gives you so much variety and he's got so much pace and he's just a top player.
He's the closest thing to Paul Gascoigne, K. Murray. And Paul Gascoigne was one of those players that would make that kind of a difference. Euro 96 specifically, I'm thinking of 1990, of course. You need that. When something's not going well from a conventional perspective, you need something unconventional to change it. Jack Grealish is the second closest to that. And look what happened when he came in. He at least gave England a different dimension. Phil Foden can do that from the get-go. Totally agree with the boys. He needs to start from the get-go against Wales.
England will go through unless they lose to Wales by at least 4. Wales have to win. But if USA against Iran isn't a draw, Wales have to win by at least 4 to qualify. USA can only go through if they beat Iran. Iran only need a draw to qualify unless Wales beat England. Probably none of that's gone into your heads, but basically...
I'm just writing this down, K. Murray.
So listen, seeing as though Frank Leboeuf is a big supporter of the underdog, we've seen him giving Canada big props before that game, might I add as well, before we saw how brave they were in that game. What's your take on the US then now, Frank, after what we saw? Because they definitely showed a lot of confidence and a lot of spirit.
Well, it's hard because it goes over a field of football. It's a geopolitical game. We all know that. How the players from both sides going to handle the pressure that they have from their own country, the feeling that they have to go for the pride of their own countries, that's something I don't have the answer to. But definitely, both sides, they have a chance to go through. And it's the team will have the biggest mentality, the biggest will of going through was going to go through. You have to have warriors on the field to make sure you're going to beat Iran or the other way around. I think in terms of talent, in terms of individuals, of course I will go for the US team. Now it has to be proven again and again. Iran won't let it go because of the pride, because of everything that we know, because of what we saw in '98, that it's possible to beat the US team. I think we'll go for it. It's up to the US men national team to prove that what happened in '98 was an accident, that they are so proud of being American that they want to beat Iran.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.